Okay, so I'm going to start adding the second fan or the dual fan cooling to my Ender 5 Plus. What I would suggest anybody doing if they're going to do the same is to go back into your settings and start with a homing. You're going to want to come in and first of all, let it do a regular Z-axis home. Let it finish what it's doing here. The reason why I'm saying that is you want to get a pretty accurate measurement between the BL touch and the print head relative to the print surface, so that when you put the new piece in, you've got something to measure against. Even though you're going to go back in and realign, you want to kind of start from this position here and measure how far the BL Touch tip is from the build platform. And actually, let's turn off the camera. I don't have a tripod that gets up this high. So do this, and then when you're done, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to increase the gap between the print head and the build surface, so that when you're all done adding the second fan assembly, the BL Touch, if you've got it off, doesn't come crashing into the build, or doesn't send your head crashing into the build plate. So we're gonna stop this. I'm going to measure, and then we're going to back it off. Okay, so what I'm getting between, and it's going to look like it's higher than it is, but take my word for it, it's aligned with the tip, and I'm getting 3.76 millimeter from the build plate to the tip of the BL Touch. So that'll give me a starting point when I get everything done, and I go to start readjusting and recalibrating my BL Touch relative to its new position, or its approximated original position in the new dual fan cooler assembly. So we'll have a few videos as I put this thing together, showing the wiring and everything, because I've not had this apart. Well, I had it apart when I put in the new endo slide assembly, but I'll be honest, I don't remember, and I didn't take a good look at the wiring harness, but I don't believe there are any connectors on there. I think it was all hardwired, so we'll be adding connectors so that we can replace the fans a little bit easier. And what else was I going to do? Oh yeah, I'm hoping that this this Hero 3 assembly fits in with the new Ecto Slide or Exo Slide mounting plate. Should, but we'll find out, so stay tuned. Alright, once you loosen these two screws, make sure that you cut these ties, because you're going to have to pull this jacket back to get at the wires to add the splitter and the other connectors for doing the installation. Okay, so I've got the first half in, and here, let's get a little closer here. You can see the holes line up, and what goes in that area is this. This is the bracket that will hold the BL Touch. And what I wanted to make sure I pointed out was press in the nut first, because that's what this is. That's what the screw that's going to go in this slot there goes into, so that you can adjust this thing once you get it installed. So make sure you have the nut, because you're not going to be able to get to it easily once it's in. So I just wanted to point that out before I got this too far along. Okay, well, I was mistaken. When you get this together, there is room back there. You can get your finger back to hold the nut in. I just thought it was right up against the plate. So anyways, that does make life a little simpler. So now the one thing I did have is a problem with it was the forward two screws in the fan shrouds, the two fan shrouds, interfere with the fans. So I ended up having to pull those out and glue those once I got the position of these relative to the nozzle, and I hope that's sufficient. It seems to be very solid. So I've cut the wires, and I'm now going to add my connectors, and this mod will be pretty much done other than tying everything off. So pretty simple, and it should really improve the uniformity of the parts. You won't end up with one side looking nicer than the other. I don't know how much more dialing I need to do on this. I guess I was kind of spoiled with the Race 3, but we'll find out soon what kind of improvement I get. So anyways, oh, and be careful. This fan has a different, these fans have a different color than what the motor that came out had. Let me see, where did I put that? Oh, that's right here. Okay, so this is the old part blower fan, and you're going to be going red, black, and here it's yellow, blue. I'm going to check on a bench supply and make sure. I'm hoping yellow is plus, blue is minus, but we'll find out real quick before we actually hook things up. So you got to be careful of that. So anyways, all right, well, it's done, and I'll tell you, well, I already knew it, but trimming the wire lengths on all of these fans really help with cable management. I haven't tied this off yet, but it fits right over the boot real nice. The bulk is outside here. These are the two connectors for the outside fans, and then the front hot end or cooling fan is for the print head is right in the back here. So, and also for the BL Touch, that cable just lays in there really nice down to here. Now I'm going to power it up and make sure the alignment and adjustment are correct and see if I need to adjust beyond where I'm at or not. So, so far, quite an easy update and mod. So I'm really anxious to do what I'll do is the retraction test. I'll just do it at 205 because that's the temperature I've been doing everything at now since doing these tests, and it seems to be really good. So let me tie off this cable really nice, and we're going to power it up and see what happens here. And this I'll put it on the tripod for. So what I did was I've gone out and increased the Z offset, and I went in and I measured my distance from the tip of the BL Touch to the build plate, and what I measured before I did the mod was 3.76 millimeters. So that's where I'm at right now, and I tighten the screw. Now we're gonna do a home and see what this does for me. Because I think what happened was, you know, everything was adjusted for the situation prior to the mod, and now I've finished the mod and I just kind of put the BL Touch in the first, in a position that was fully extended, and now I've put it back where it was before the mod. Okay, that's all it took. Okay, good. So I'm going to go back through and do an a measurement, and and we'll do a print. Well, I have to admit, this mod was a very simple mod and very quick too. I don't think it took me, except for a glitch that was my own fault, I don't think this took much more than an hour and a half to do. And a lot of that had to do with just taking my time with the wiring, making sure that, well, I got it right and that I didn't end up with a huge mass of wire left over. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it looks good. One thing that you do have to watch out for, though, the cable, and it's probably just the way I've got my cable dressed going down to the back. The BL Touch cable can be a little taut if you're not careful. I made sure that I did have a little bit of slack, but you just want to pay attention to that when you're putting it together. The fans do unfortunately create a little bit further path for the wire to go, but not by much. And there is the wire there. You just have to make sure you don't lose it in the way you dress your cable. So far so good. The print is looking very nice. We'll find out when it's all done. Well, not a whole lot of improvement or difference between the before on your right and the after on your left, but I'm going to try a couple of prints that are less a torture and more of an actual task, and see how they turn out. It's something I wanted to do, and I've got it out of the way. I just now need to start doing some prints that I have in mind, and see how they turn out. Anyways, it was an easy build, or an easy mod, and I'm glad I did it. Now let's see how well the printer does from this point forward. See y'all later. Bye.